Silent Siren, this band here. Now, there's a reason why I picked this lovely, happy picture of them, so we can do our first reaction to the new song, Maybe Baby Blue, that has just come out. And that name, it really sounds like the name of like an old folk song or something. I have no idea what to expect here. But anyway, this is all part of their new album, More Than Pink, which is set to come out at the beginning of next year. Why is it so? Yeah, there we go. January 15th, 2025. That is due to come out. What happened there? I don't. Okay, Google has just got a mind of its own. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited about that. But this is all part of, if you like, a larger story that I just want to quickly cover before we get into this, because I have been a fan of Silent Siren for such a long time. Really loved them during their initial run when I first discovered them. And they're just one of those bands who I think brings so much joy to the Japanese music scene. But also at the same time, it's charming, accessible, pop rock stuff, but with really great musicianship in there. I think this is just the kind of music where it's just a joy. So anyway, they went away for their hiatus, they came back, and this photograph was taken soon after they came back. And the reason why I picked this one is because they look really happy in this picture. And this is kind of the vibe that I want to get. I want to get some of this joy. Now, they came back with that initial first EP that dropped, which was, yeah, it was really good, but it was kind of good in that we're finding our feet again way. And what I really want with More Than Pink is I want More Than Pink to be kind of that, where it's like, okay, this is the band back at their, at their top, bringing us that kind of joy, bringing that kind of identity that only this joyful group of women right here can do. And, we had the first single come out, which was Who's That from this. And I kind of, I thought it was nice. I liked it. I think I heard some of the comments. Other people were like, it didn't quite wow us as much as we went into. So I'm really excited about this, but there's a part of me as well, which is like hoping that this, I just really want this to be part of that elevating story of Silent Siren, just being Silent Siren, being that band where no one else can replace them. And, I'm going to be excited. I'm probably going to be biased into being excited. Hashtag no bias. But I'm probably going to enjoy this, whatever I hear, within reason. But I'm going to be honest as always. We're always honest on this channel. I'll critique it as fairly as possible. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. I'm also interested to see if this gives us a little bit of variation, because certainly Silent Siren post-hiatus have had a little bit of a kind of a smooth sound. It's not been quite as sort of jumpy and sort of hard hitting as some of their no real cherry bombs, although I've done it anyway. Let's see. I'm excited to see what we get from this. I'm a big fan of the band. Anyway, let's jump in. There you go. There's a bit of context. Fingers crossed. Here we go. This is Maybe Baby Blue from Silent Siren. Okay. There's a lot of punch in that intro. I love that second chord as well. It's very Silent Siren, but it's not the most. There's a bit of feeling and interest in the structure already. But will it pay it off with a big chorus? I'm loving all the layers that you usually get from Silent Siren songs. The keyboards and layered guitars in there as well. So much going on. I'm just loving the sort of frenetic, frantic aspect. And that bass line as well from Anya. It's a very busy song, which again, I love it when they do that. It shows that kind of, we're accessible, but we got the nuance. Oh yeah. Oh, I felt they could have done that a second time round and I'd have been very happy. Unexpected key change. Everything was flowing very... Oh, I'm back! That was an odd little change in there. I was going to say, everything was flowing in a very sort of like easygoing way. Oh, they're throwing in the side steps. I think this is a grower. I don't even think this is the first time, this is the best time kind of song. This is one of those ones where when you get more and more used to all these changes, I think this is going to pay off. I really liked that. I really liked that. I am going to point, I can already kind of hear some of the things that I think some other people might dislike about it. But I'm going to jump in straight away and tell you why I really like that. And then maybe try and cut off at the pass what I think maybe some of the criticisms that other people might have. Now, the reason why I enjoyed this is because, like I said, this embodied so many of the things that I really like about Silent Siren. In that it was accessible. It's just like a nice melody. It's bouncing along, very rhythmic from the get-go, but it's so frantic and full of things. There's so many layers. There's so much to get your ears into. You know, the keyboard lines. There are the multiple guitar layer lines. I don't mind when 3-piece bands do that. I'm fine with that. You know, when you're live, find a way of doing it live, and when you're in the studio, do whatever you want. That's why you're in the studio. It's a studio. Use all the tools, make the perfect sound. So there's all this layered stuff going on in here that just made it sound so full and crisp, but they wasn't even complacent. It's like at the same time, the song is constantly going through all these changes that really feel just like they're having so much fun. I mean, you know, when we got to that bit where there was that key change, I was like, well, they set it up nicely. We had like a good little headbang at the beginning of the bridge, and now they're just going to burst gloriously into the final chorus. So much more happened. We had that key change, then it came back. Then the last chorus itself was split up. We had, every single chorus had that little sort of stuttered rhythm in it. But we had bits where it was like the rhythm was really changing, going into all these different places. Now I know that they've been using like touring drummers, you know, guest drummers, and I know that they've had some people who've been more regularly involved, and as a result, it could be that the drums were put together by one of their drummer friends. I don't know if it was them or whether it was the writer dude who actually wrote the drum line for this, but the drum line was good, really, really good. It was the kind of frantic, really creative thing that felt to me a little bit like, dare I say, it was penned by someone who knows how drums sound, but is not, shall we say, is not jaded by a career of being a drummer. It sounded like someone who was like playing with writing drums. And I mean that in a good way. Like there was this, I often say when I work with musicians, I love working with experienced musicians. And just for anyone who doesn't know, I work, a lot involved in songwriting and working with young bands. But one of the things I most like is when you have one person in the room who's really inexperienced, because they will throw suggestions in, and sometimes they'll be terrible, but they'll throw in suggestions sometimes which will just be like, no one else in the room would have thought of that, because that was crazy, and it ends up being a really good idea. And to me, the drum line in this song feels like the bit where it's like, again, like maybe that's not something an experienced drummer would have maybe gone for. Maybe, who knows? I just felt like there was this sort of playful hey, let's have fun on a drum kit kind of vibe going on there, because the rhythm just kept on shifting up, but it was so good and it complemented everything that was going over the top of it. So if that was a guest drummer who wrote that drum line, then hire them. But yeah, so everything about this song, it just felt full of both layers and this constant this lack of complacency. It kept on reinventing and moving forwards and being exciting and fresh and interesting. I really enjoyed this. Now, there's a couple of things that I will agree. So just to head off some of the criticisms, maybe the criticism I would most easily agree with, I don't think the chorus was particularly catchy. For a single, it wasn't very catchy. Maybe, baby. It's fun, but it's not going to get stuck in your head, let's be honest. It's not the most exciting melody ever, but it's good. It's nice. It's pleasant. It's fine. For me, this song is less of a, hey, despite its happy pop nature, it's less of a, oh my god, that's a catchy single, and more just of a, that song's a really good time kind of thing. And I can also see, I think this song, similarly to what I was saying about some of the post-hiatus songs, has a little bit too much of a smooth production, which I think, I don't want to be one of those people who complains about compression, because I think some people just complain about compression too much. But yeah, this was perhaps more compressed than it needed to be, considering it was a bouncy song. Yeah, there's a lot of punch and bounce to it. I think the compression could have come off a little bit so that everything had more room to breathe. It did feel like the sounds were a little bit pushed in together, a little bit compressed. Oh. It's the production police. Anyway, yeah, the sounds did feel a little bit more pushed in than they needed to be for a song like this, which was so full of life and rhythm. I felt it needed a little bit more room to breathe. So yeah, that's something I think that the studio work on this was good, but I don't think it maybe lent into what the song needed. I think the song needed a little bit more life than the mix. The mix and the mastering more than the production. The production I think was fine, but the mix and mastering maybe didn't allow it to breathe as much as it needed to. I hate to say it, I'm a big fan of studio versions for all the reasons I said about the fact that, you know, in studio version the band can really just use all the tools to paint whatever picture they want. But I think I would be interested to hear this live because it's such a bouncy song. I'd love to hear it just with like the very raw sound, see how it comes across. But yeah, this is a step into the direction that I want for Silent Siren. I think if the chorus was a little bit more catchy, this would be like a real top tier song. But as it is, it's still like a song that I would definitely come back to, definitely enjoy it. And it definitely encapsulates a lot of things that I enjoy about Silent Siren. So yeah, I'm down for that. And again, that's the reason why I picked this particular picture, because this is the Silent Siren I want. You know, it doesn't have to be happy all the time, but I want to feel that joy, that love of music bursting out with bouncy rhythms, that kind of thing that only Silent Siren can do. And this was a little bit more of that. So I really like this. This has me quite hopeful. So I was going to say, yeah, Only One on the last mini album was similar. That was kind of like, that was the bouncy upbeat one. This feels like, okay, this feels like we got our next Only One. I'm really hoping that we get a full album of just like joyous songs again, like this kind of thing. Obviously some variation, but so long as we got plenty of these in here, plenty of those Silent Siren-esque, bouncy, fun, joyous, frenetic, layered songs with awesome Einyan bass lines, creative Yukaran keyboard lines, and those beautiful melodies, and very underrated guitar work coming from Sue. Give me those. We're going to be happy. Anyway, there you go. Those are my thoughts. Really interesting what you guys say in the comments. I've had a lot of varying opinions on recent Silent Siren stuff, but I really think this is what I wanted to hear today. It's the middle of the night. This is what I wanted to hear. I'm very happy. Let me know what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao, ciao.